today's job is to replace some seals in these hydraulic cylinders, because the last time I was working just here the other day, they blew out pretty much. You can see the seal's pretty much gone, and it gushed out. It was like a decent garden hose leak, and both seals went. You can see all the leakage where it drained out, and I've had to let it set for a couple days, and we'll see how much hydraulic fluid's actually left in the cylinder, but I'm not going to let it get on the ground this time, even though you can see that it leaked out a little bit. But we'll get to changing the seals out in the cylinders. The way this works is the cylinder stays on. We're just going to take the piston out. To take the piston out, so at the other end of this piston here is literally a piston inside here that, you know, that fluid is push it this way or push it that way, and it push or pulls the rod here. So if we undo this and take the coupling off here, then this is free to slide out, and we can pull that piston out with this rod. So I need to undo the end here and lift this up, undo these 4 bolts and these 4 bolts, and then basically just use this as a slide hammer to pound or to pull the piston out of the cylinder here. I'm gonna put some tarp down so I don't get any more oil than I have to around. We'll get started. Okay, on the 941B, it's important to note that there are 3 sets of cylinders. There's this, which is called the lift cylinder. This that is called, well, let's not do that. This that is called the tilt cylinder, and this that's called the bucket cylinder, the 4-in-1 bucket cylinder. All right, so this 4-inch cylinder on the bucket, the 4-in-1 bucket, and the lift cylinder are identical except for rod length. They're a 4-inch cylinder. The packing, the piston, everything's exactly the same. The sockets on whatever this part's called, that is a 15/16. The part that holds the pin in is 3/4, and the part that holds the hydraulic coupling is 9/16. That's it. You got 3 sockets on that. Now, so those two, the lift cylinder and the 4-in-1 bucket cylinders, same in every way. Now, on the tilt cylinder, the cylinders that tilt the bucket back and forth, it's a little bit different. They are way heavier. It's still a 4-inch cylinder, and the pin bolts are still 3/4 inch, and the hydraulic is 9/16. But the bolts that hold the cap on are considerably bigger. They are, what are they? They are 1 5/16. 1 5/16. And it's really important that when you're buying your seal kits, that you buy it for the right thing. The seals and things that fit in these 2 cylinders will not fit in this, even though it looks like it should. All right, so on replacing the tilt cylinders, right now, what I've done is I've undone the cap. I've taken the 4 bolts out of that. I've undone the hydraulic connection, and I've pushed the pin out until the rod drops off. You can see that on both sides. So both sides have all 4 bolts taken out, the hydraulic connection's undone, and we're all ready. Now we have to plan for the weight of these, because when you take the rod out, let me stand back a little bit. When you take the rod out of the cylinder will just drop, and that's fine. But if you're one man doing this, you won't be able to get that rod back in the cylinder unless it's propped up. So you're going to have to get that cylinder propped up a bit and pull the, oh, and the other thing is you have to have the rod clear of this. So it has to be at an angle like that to pull the rod out, of the cylinder. So getting the cylinder propped up, maybe something under here to prop it up so that you've got an angle you can pull the rod out and get the rod back in, is our next job. So let's figure that out. Okay, what I've done is I've put a 4x4 underneath the back part of both cylinder heads, whatever you call them. So I'll split this, and it's got some seals that fit in there and keep it from leaking out, and it's just a matter of putting something in and kind of prying this away now, and it'll fall down the cylinder, and that's plenty of space for the cylinder to come out and continue coming out of the cylinder. And then we'll grab it and just pull down on this one a little bit, and that one goes up, so we'll be able to get the other one out as well. All right, so now just split that and get that piston out. All right, so the next step is to split this cap away from the cylinder and just basically put a screwdriver in and pry it away. And these seals here will hold it in the cylinder, but not too hard. And then when you're here, you basically use this as your slide hammer to get the piston out, which is right in there. And then you just have to be ready. It doesn't come out fast or anything like that. Here, hold that, Quinn. Well, I'll get this one out. You don't have to worry about ruining your seal here, because obviously you're replacing it because it's already ruined. That's some good seals in there. And the nut will catch it a little bit, but there we go. All right, let's do the other one. It's tighter. Wow, it's really tight. Shoot, I got my seat. Yeah. Quick. That's both cylinders out. Now it's just a matter of repacking, and I'll video that. So the nut that's on the end of the bucket tilt, they are 1 9/16.
2 9/16.
Oh, 2 9/16. The nuts that are on the other two are 2 3/8. So it's a little bit bigger nut. This is the setup once you pull the piston out of the cylinder, and it's just sitting there. We got kind of rained out last night, so we had to bag things and just put a Ziploc bag over it so it doesn't get wet inside, and abandon, put all the tools away. But this morning it's a little drier, and you pull the pistons out and find a nice secure place to secure the one end, which all these cats are built with a nice secure place to put the eyelet on, and a log, so you don't put too much stress on it, even though that pure chrome, I don't think you have to worry about that too much. And then you can buy this 2 9/16 socket, which is about $35–40, and it's a one-off thing, or you can use a monkey wrench like we're doing here, and a 10-foot cheater bar. So a 2-inch pipe. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, it's well strong enough you can hang a couple guys on it and it moves this nut. Now anything smaller than that flexes and bends and you don't get the break. So you need at least a 2-inch in our experience, and at least 8 feet. 10 feet works better, because I think these are put on at like 1280, torque down to 1280, and they've got a lock nut on them. Getting them off really difficult. My 1-inch driver won't touch it, and the last bunch, the other 4, we took to Caterpillar and had Caterpillar take them off for us, and that just irks me, having to take it somewhere. So just bought a bigger cheater bar. All right, here we go.